Hello, beautiful soul. I was supposed to record this message yesterday, but I slept. But I know it's divine timing only when these messages get recorded. So the spirit is saying, whatever situation you are in, ask yourself, oh, if you had a child and they were going through the exact same thing, what would you do? So maybe you are scared, like, oh my God, I did something that I'm not proud of. Maybe I was in love with somebody and now I like somebody else, and all of this. Ask yourself, what if I had a daughter or if I had a son and they did the exact same thing and they were feeling the exact same way, how would you act? Like, you know how you're feeling, okay? You know the ins and outs of yourself. So if you had a child and they were going through the same thing exact, what would you do? If you feel like, oh my God, for my personal guilt would be like, oh my God, I couldn't visit my mom when she had cancer or she passed away. That was my guilt, okay? And I asked myself, if I had a daughter and she was feeling the exact same way, what would I tell her? How would I treat her? You know. So I look at this, like, I visualized having a daughter and she going through everything. So I just wanted to hug her because she was feeling so confused and afraid and fearful, and she was lacking strength. She didn't had. So I wouldn't criticize her for anything, you know. If anything, I would just love on her and show her, like, okay, this and this. Like, I would just tell her, like, you really didn't have resources or the wisdom in that moment, you know. And just like hug her. And because I know how scared I was, and I look like I saw her and she was being very, very scared and confused and overwhelmed, so I would just hug her. So that was my thing. So you gotta visualize having a child and they are going through the exact same thing. How would you, you know, treat them? What would you do if your child was in the same situation, going through the exact same feelings and emotions and thoughts and everything? What would you do? Another thing was that even if you have made a mistake, there will be some situation wherein you will have to make a choice to forgive yourself. Like, it would be a choice. You would be like, oh my God, this thing that I have done, it's unforgivable. So in that moment, after you are done crying and processing the mistake, because processing a mistake, it's a very beautiful thing, so that it makes you a better human, so that in moving forward you make more wiser choices, right? So after you have processed, cried and all of that, you will have to make a choice, like, yes, I did this thing that I am not proud of. I did it because I didn't know better. I didn't know how to process my anger better. So I lashed out in certain way, or I didn't know, I was not emotionally wise. So I would, punish people, give them silent treatments, withhold love, and I was functioning in that way because I didn't know better. I grew up seeing adults around me using same behaviors on me, so I couldn't learn better. I didn't saw better. I didn't know better. I never received better treatment. I always received this poor treatment of punishment, withholding love, or like anger. People constantly angry. Adults around me always angry. I lived my life for 25 years of my life in that kinds of environment. So I started to do all these things, but now I am learning better, okay? But all this while I didn't know better, and I was recreating all that kind of pain that was inflicted upon me. So many reasons, and it's not like you are making excuses. It's like, yes, I didn't know better. Genuinely, this is sick, and I'm making a choice to forgive myself. It would be a choice. And like, that we can all argue, like, what about the psychopaths and criminal minded people? You guys, these people are suffering so deeply inside that I don't even want to get, like, that's not my that's not my, what do we say, Mm, there's a word for it, that's not my area of, where I what do we say, where I excel at. But so I don't want to talk about it much. But the people who are, like, acting this way, they're struggling very deeply inside. Other people have the more knowledge on it, but if you can kill a child and eat their brain, if you can, like, all these things, they are like really, they can, these things happen in the world. There are criminal minded people. So then we feel like, oh my god, should they also make a choice and have no shine of guilty and all of that? No, that means they are not actually processing the mistake. Because when you know that, yes, I have made a mistake, whether it's even a little, like, oh my god, I judged that person so harshly, even that little mistake, it will like give you a panic. Okay, so that's where, because I know the people who are watching me, you guys are very highly self-aware and kind-hearted people. And so it is for you, like, when you have processed that mistake, when you, like, okay, I shouldn't have done this, you realize that you have shed enough tears and all of those things, then you can make a choice. Because otherwise, there will be a part of you or something that will keep you in that energy of guilt all the time. Oh my god, you remember you did this a few months ago, few years ago, 10 years ago. So they will keep you in that cycle of guilty and make you feel like you are not worthy of good things, or to experience love again, to be happy again. That voice that continues to guilt you, that will stop you from enjoying your life, that will stop you from enjoying your blessings. you know and yeah. And another thing, third message that spirit guys wanted me to speak about was, like, no harshness allowed. Like, if you had a child and they have made a mistake, even if you feel so angry, and if you are, learning healthy parenting, you know that you cannot lose your temper on the child. Even if they have made a mistake that have triggered you, you would have to breathe and find a gentler way of telling a child, and find even a gentler way to express your boundaries and express your anger. And like, knowing, hey, like, this is my boundary, I don't like it, so can you please do better next time? Like, gentler ways, very, very gentle ways. So for me, in my situation of with my mom that happened, I had to talk to myself like, hey Jyoti, you had no money and you were scared of going home, and then getting trapped in the home, getting married to a random guy, or you losing your creativity, the spark, the innocence that you found by living away from the home. And like, whenever I go home, there were people always hating on me, and there were no proper room or proper bed to sleep on. And like, if I ask for it, then everybody, my parents and my siblings will say, like my father, that she's just always spending money. But I need a proper bed to sleep on, proper way to go washroom. Like, back at home there will be like 20 people using two washrooms, and always like there is anxiety around food. So all these things like really scared me. So I was just like, hey, you are really scared. And I know people will say, relatives will say that you are a bad daughter, but I know your heart, you are not a bad daughter. and I know myself. I was just very scared of going through the lack or an anxiety around food, and just like that stability. I was scared. I felt like I didn't have strength to be around that pain and all of that. Yeah, that's so I was just talking to my inner child very lovingly, even when like my father was being very harsh on me. And I'm sure he was, I don't know. I don't want to say that he was right, but he is my father, and losing my mom, I don't want to say anything bad about my father, because he has also lost his wife and his own father in just like, within the span of 7 months, like just year. So I don't want to, like, it's not about, it's very confusing, all these dynamics, our family dynamics, because we love our parents, and at the same time their abuse, it's all too much for the mind, genuinely. So that confusion, in that confusion, if my child was in, I just want to hug them. I don't want to tell them anything. I just want to hug them and make them feel safer. Yeah, okay, book a one-on-one intuitive guidance session with me for over voice note or over video call for psychic messages, intuitive messages, spiritual messages, or guidance, psychic guidance, and channel messages for you. And get into my 12 weeks of mentorship if you want to do deep spiritual work, deep processing of emotions like regrets, shame, guilt. Regret is really big. Yesterday regret was coming up a lot, that how regret, like, first of all, processing the regrets, because processing our regrets, like, literally bring us that life force energy inside of us to know how to live life. Like, we wouldn't want to miss out on the present moment and all the blessings that we have got. We want to make use of the time that we have got, and all these things, you know um, yeah, so processing regrets of the past, and processing past baggages, and like pain, shame, fear, regrets, and limiting beliefs, and anything that are stopping you, from stepping into your power. Like, my 12 weeks of mentorship will support you a lot in processing all these feelings, emotions, limiting beliefs, and hence stepping into your power, stepping into your purpose, stepping into your place, stepping into your joy. All these unlocking of your that badass energy inside of you. Yeah, link of that is in my bio, and I am doing donation based work, making all these videos, and I want to be highly compensated for it. So I have, like, found a way to keep it open for donations, so that, like, I keep compensated, and letting people support me, letting life support me. That's the way, like, I feel like I should be, like, that's the aligned way that I have found to be, like, keep the donation open, and let people support me. So link of that is in my bio. You can donate for my fruits, vegetables, rent, and bills, etc., etc. And another magical thing that I have for you is my
Bring magic in your life with my magic paintings. This painting says, dearest God, dearest Mother, thank you for guiding me. Thank you for leading my way. When you live around this painting, the way you start to move in this world very bravely, confidently, courageously, you would find yourself becoming most braver, bolder, confident version of yourself, and it just so much divine guidance and peaceful energies into your life. Super powerful. Super. You can't miss the magic. You can't. I'm telling you, you cannot. Okay. Also, you can hire me, and I will channel a customized magic painting uniquely for you. A painting that will bring lot of success, high vibrations, good energies, power, love, and like sacred, peaceful, pure energies into your life. It's so powerful, and